Hello, my fellow travelers. Fellow travelers is actually a communist term, so I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody, but I feel like we're all traveling on the same kind of pathway of life, especially now. I think that so much of the last age, which one would classify and call the age of Pisces, um, we all were having a shared dream and delusion together, but we all did our utmost to believe that we were separate from source, separate from God, separate from one another. And we only brought each other together, came together on agreed upon terms, whether that be religion, holidays, whether that was sports or television or cultural events. Now we are having the opportunity to choose. We are moving into the age of Aquarius. We are moving into a brand new dawn, a brand new age. Pluto moved into Aquarius firmly last year, and now we are starting to see this acceleration. And the beautiful thing and the scary thing about Aquarius is that it doesn't give a fuck. Aquarius is going to do what it's going to do regardless. And it is a fixed sign. So we are fixed going down the path like a locomotion on a train moving down the tracks. We are fixed in the trajectory that we are going. Whatever you decided, whatever you've been deciding, unless you consciously make a decision to change, because you can always change, but whatever you have decided is your trajectory will now be your trajectory now for the rest of your life, especially if you're getting older and you're getting more stuck in your ways and so on and so forth. But that's a good thing if you have been tuning into the more subtle energies, the more subtle paths of the universe. And so now we're talking about something that's going to be affecting us for the next 18 months, and that is the North Node moving into Pisces. My particular North Node is in Aries, and so that means the South Node is the opposite sign. It's in Libra. Usually when we talk about these things, they are meant to be a guiding light. Your North Node is supposed to be like your North Star. It's supposed to be like your guiding light that is shining in the sky, pointing the direction where you need to go, how you need to evolve, what you need to turn into, how you need to become a better person. And so now, as a society as a whole, the North Node is shifting into Pisces, and it'll be that way until 2026. And so it's a very, very interesting time, because Pisces is the sign of something that we are actually needing to become very acquainted with the energies of Pisces, very acquainted with how it moves, how it operates. And it's almost very timely as well, because things, as I've said just recently, things are on this path and this trajectory. And the natural desire for humanity is to want to course correct, control, try to refine and constrain, and try to make things happen as we would like them to happen. But Pisces is an elusive sign. It's a sign about things that are unseen. It's a sign about the dreamy. It's a sign of the illusion. And so as we go into it, it's going to be very interesting. So let's first talk about what the North Node is. The North Node, or Rahu, is an energy we are called to gravitate towards, embody, embrace, and master. It feels foreign, unfamiliar, and uncomfortable, yet it is the direction we are meant to take in order to evolve and to grow. And like I said before, it's the North Star, metaphorically speaking. Your South Node is what you're comfortable with. It's probably something that you were very, very familiar with in maybe a past lifetime, or currently where you're coming from early on in your age, moving toward the end of your life. You want to go towards your North Node energy. But as a society, as we're dealing with this in the next 18 months, we are going to have to strive to become more of what Pisces embodies, which is go with the flow. Pisces is illustrated as the sign of the two fish, one going up, one swimming downstream. And so what kind of sense does it make for one fish to swim up and one fish to swim down when they're part of the same entity? It means that we're learning that everything is everything. It's all the same. Whether you're going up or whether you're going down, it is all basically the same. what you choose to do and where you are moved to go really relies upon the energy in which you embody. And Pisces is all about the embodiment energy. How do you embody the energy that you want to become? How do you merge into that water? How do you flow with the current to become who you desire and what you want out of life? So while the North Node is in Pisces, we are learning that it is okay to not have an answer. It's okay to not understand what is going on. It's okay not to know exactly where we are going. And this is so pertinent because we are in such a confusing time right now, and it'll continue to get more and more confusing. Trust me, it will. Things are going to happen that we never thought would have happened. The world is going to shift politically. There's going to be realignment politically. There's going to be a realignment socially. There's going to be a realignment culturally. There's going to be a realignment geographically. There's going to be changes to the earth that we have never seen or thought were going to happen. And there's going to be many causes for this, and people are going to try to define it. But that definition is the very nature of Virgo, which is going to be in the South Node during this time period. Pisces doesn't need definitions. Pisces doesn't need to understand through words or through a scientific means. Pisces just believes what it believes. It perceives what it wants, and it believes it in the way in which that energy is felt. As a water sign, Pisces is so much about the deep feeling, the deep well of emotion, and that deep merging that happens on a subconscious level that is the emotional level. The unconscious, the collective unconscious of humanity happens on that deeper emotional level. And so therefore we have got to come to the understanding and the acceptance that we are all tied together one another through our genetics, through our epigenetics, through our emotions, our energy, through so much that we wish and want to, as thinking creatures, as intellectual creatures, want to run away from and say, no, we are more sophisticated than the ape, than the animal, than the animals in the jungle. We are more sophisticated. We can create the world that we want to see around us. We can build buildings and skyscrapers and build fences and things of this nature, but we cannot escape, and we must learn this, and we're going to have to accept this in the next 18 months, that we cannot escape our connection. We cannot escape our connection. And so that connection to humanity is going to be so pivotal, and I hope that this lesson, I foresee this lesson being the key to setting the tone for the next 20 years, because every dystopian movie that we've ever seen from the 1980s onwards was talking about this time that we're about to come into. And if we do not accept our connectedness and interconnectedness as a humanity, as a human species, as a human race, we can very so easily go into this dystopic future where we stop caring about one another, where we stop caring about what's going on in society, where we stop caring. And that is another negative trait of Pisces. It's a negative trait of Pisces is to give up, is to feel victimized in victimhood. The reason why the age of Pisces is signified by, the Christian symbol of the fish, Jesus sacrificed himself. Jesus martyred himself. Jesus is that martyr that Pisces loves to be. And so I've known many Pisces people throughout my life, and on an individual basis, personally, a lot of times they like to martyr themselves and hang themselves on the cross and say, hey, do to me whatever you want, as long as you're having a good time, because it doesn't matter what happens to me. And that sometimes can be a good thing, but most of the time, most human beings aren't necessarily mature enough to do it in the way in which Jesus did it, of course, right? Where it's actually for a real reason, cleansing people of all their sins. Most people are doing it because they're masking their own insecurities and different parts of their ego. But I digress. This energy, if you don't give into it, it won't put us in a state of martyrdom. It'll put us in a state of acceptance, in a state of surrender. This transit reminds us that everything is inherently perfect as it is, even if in the present moment it doesn't seem to make any sense. And so in these moments, when we're going to see tragedies, when we're going to see triumphs, when we're going to see hatred, when we're going to see the ugliness of humanity at its pinnacle, when we're going to see the beauty of humanity at its pinnacle, we're going to see the greatest highs and the greatest lows coming up in the next 20 years. But this next year and a half is going to set the tone for that. And so what we are going to have to learn is that it is already done. It is what it is, and it's perfect as it is because there's a master plan at work. There's a master architect, and he's already designed it. It's already done. She, he, whatever you want to call it, has already designed it. You are a part of that plan. You are a part of those schematics. And there's unlimited amounts of infinite universes and experiences to be had. And so whatever you choose, you jump and hop from one universe to the next, one reality to the next. But the overall blueprint, the plan of the universe and the cosmos has already been determined. It's already there. You're just skipping from one, lobby to the next, as it were, right? The actual servers on which this game is being held, that's where the master plans are at. And so that is what we are going to be called to do in the next 18 months. This transit encourages us to integrate our spiritual practice into our daily lives and approach our mundane routines and tasks with devotion, dedication, and a service-oriented mentality. I see that happening so much because just take, for example, what's going on in Los Angeles right now. And we're praying for all the people that did not deserve to be put in a position that are being put in a position where their lives are at stake and their lives are in danger. Those types of situations will continue to occur because this unraveling of our systems will continue to occur. But due to that unraveling, people are going to start to appreciate their own lives more than ever, which I think is so very important as we come into a time when technology is going to be so abundantly available to us, where we're going to be able to have anything that we wish for at a whim. We need to learn to appreciate the very breath that we breathe, the inhale and the exhale as it comes and as it goes. We need to understand that whatever we have been given in our lives, whether it gives us joy or pain, has been given to us as a gift of experience. And so therefore, our daily practices will become the very moving meditations of our lives, whether it be cooking, washing dishes, whether it's doing our jobs, driving to work. We will start to learn and appreciate life as a moving meditation when we come to understand that it's perfect as it is. There is no imperfection. There's only the imperfection of our perception. And this is the beauty of this transit. This transit is going to call upon us to grow in ways that we didn't even think possible. And we are going to rise to those standards. But the number one thing Pisces is asking us to do, this North Node in Pisces is asking us to do, is to surrender. We are not in control. We have come here willingly to experience this. This is what we chose. And so now that we're on this plane of existence, this level of understanding, we have to act accordingly, because that is the gift. The gift is to experience. The gift is to perceive. The gift is to proceed. The gift is to give devotion to the universe, to our Creator, to the thing that's allowing us to be here. this next year, you're going to find so many people give themselves over to a religion. They're going to find religion. They're going to find spirituality. They're going to find whatever it is. And I ask you, please do not judge them. Please. Whether they become Muslim, whether they become Christian, I don't care, as long as they're not worshiping the God of entropy and death. You know, you can do whatever you want to, but I have my personal preferences. But as long as they're not worshiping death and destruction and the harming of innocence, please do not judge them. Because many people are coming to this and they have never, ever thought that they would become faithful people. This next 18 months is going to be about faith, because faith is going to be the only thing that some people have to hold on to as things get so crazy, as the world becomes so unglued, as the veil between the seen and the unseen world becomes so thin. We're going to see spiritual phenomena that seemed biblical, that was only talked about by our ancestors. We thought they were crazy. We're going to see it now because we're ready for it and our consciousness is there, and now is the time. And so I'll leave you guys with this. Stay prayed up, meditate, stay calm, learn the techniques to manage the monkey mind, manage your emotions. Learn more about yourself and keep the faith. Thank you guys for listening. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay blessed. Keep shining.